Blog Talk Radio.
Hold on for a minute, brother. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Okay, how you doing? How you doing? This is Brother Akbar, Muslim, the True Doctor. Welcome to Wake Up Africa Radio, Blog Talk Radio Show. Today we have a brother on, and the name of the show is Hip Hop Will Never Die. He's going to come on and tell you about his book. He's going to tell you about, a lot of things that you may not know about the music industry. And he's going to educate you on the mysteries and the mysterious things, and also let you be able to know about and purchase his book. So here's the brother. He's going to come on. He's going to introduce himself to y'all, and he's going to rip a hole in the industry secrets.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, Brother Akbar. Thank you for that. All righty. Thank you, brother. Thank you. I'd like to thank the Wake Up Show before I even go in. And, and thank you for your dedication to, dispelling some of the mysteries and some of the pull that goes on in the music industry and as a whole, the entertainment industry. My name is the Blacksmith. I'm going to be talking about my book. The name of it is Boom Bye Bye, Hip Hop Will Never Die. And, we're going to, talk about some things and get some questions answered, and hopefully, I'll give my contact, for sure I'll give my contact information before I get off, and keep in touch with y'all out there. My book is for sale. It just came out last Monday, so it hasn't even been officially a week yet. And let's get into it, bro. Are you ready?
Yes. Well, just explain what is in your book, and we'll be asking you questions. Me and Queen Aaron again. Queen Aaron's on the line. She's in the house with me tonight.
Yes.
Queen Isis is not with us tonight, but she'll be back with us again. We had to give some of our people, rest. They out here working hard, trying to get information to our people, to enlighten them and to open up their mind, to think outside the box. Because most of our people have blinders on like a horse with blinders where he can't look to the right, he can't look to the left, he's just looking straight ahead, tunnel vision. So we got to see a lot of these things. It's a thing called social engineering that's out there that most people don't even know that exists, that they are engineering your life. You don't choose nothing. You just choose from what they choose for you. You just choose from the things they lay out there for your mind to be programmed and your mind to be controlled. So we're going to discuss a lot of these things, how they use music, how they use movies and television and advertisement and the sweet things and everything that tastes good and everything to control your mind. So go ahead, brother, and rip a hole in that. That
okay.
rap.
Well,
I want to know about from the top to the bottom.
Okay. Well, in this book, I dispel a lot of the mysteries. I go behind the story. So, we got people in the book, Old Dirty Bastards, the Guru from Gangstar, so many, Biggie and Pac, of course, Eazy-E, NWA, there's a whole Suge Knight, even up to today. I went in on Chris Lighty. I finished the book around the time Chris Lighty's death. And for those of you who don't know who Chris Lighty is, he was a big-time manager. Matter of fact, he was Diddy's manager when he was, on top with Bad Boy in the mid to late 90s. I went in on so many people: Phyllis Hyman, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Isaac Hayes, Bernie Mac, Martin Lawrence. So I covered the entertainment industry, but the longest chapter in the book, which is chapter 3 and chapter 4, mainly cover hip-hop, and then, I rounded out with different figures in the entertainment industry. I talk about DMX, Busta Rhymes, even people that are not famous but are, high up in the entertainment industry food chain. So I cover so many people, and I get behind the story after, I do investigations, so not all of it is factual, but it's conclusive due to investigative reporting. So, that's what the book is about. And basically, I want people out there, especially the younger folks listening to me, to know that if you're going to get involved in the game and you get to a certain financial level, you're going to have to go through certain rituals and do certain things that you may not do, may not want to do, but you don't want to wind up back in the projects, a regular dude. So, most go for it, some don't. And this is why Dave Chappelle went to Africa a few years ago. Certain people that, like who were big, some years ago or some time ago are no longer big, and you don't hear about them because they got out, because they wasn't down to do some of the rituals. So that's basically what the book is about, and we cover all of them.
Well, that's vague. Aren't you going to give us some of the, intense things people want to hear? Some of the things, a prelude to what goes on in the book, a couple of pages or something. Share something with us, brother. Come on.
Would you like for me to read from a part of the book?
Yes, brother. Whatever it takes. Our listeners are on here. They salivating, waiting for some of this information, man. You want them to have a sample of the food so they can like it, don't you?
Okay. All right. Well, we can do that. Let me open it up, and I got it right here in front of me. I want to read something to you. Okay, it is somebody that maybe a lot of us forgot about, but I'm going to talk about her, and then we can ask questions, and continue the conversation from here. But this is on page 71 in chapter 3 of my book. Let's now get into a soloist who we hardly ever hear about anymore. She came into infamy right around the time the great switch took place as in Public Enemy to NWA. I'm going to suspend y'all for a minute and make y'all think before I reveal the name. I want you to think about someone who had the nerve and gall to say in response to the 1992 LA uprising that if black people kill black people every day, why not have a week and kill white people? Did you give up yet? Okay. Well, if you didn't, we're talking about Sister Souljah. The sister became a lightning rod of controversy in them days when PE was still tops, and after Professor Griff, who was one of the biggest influences for what I do today, was kicked out of the group for being anti-Semitic. In more recent times, this sister has been found to be working for Diddy's foundation, which pretty much serves the families and close friends of Diddy's own people. As well, Sister Gal had been writing those black lit books, most notably The Coldest Winter Ever. This book was published by Simon & Schuster. Believe me, if this so-called elite publisher published her book, after she made those inflammatory statements, she made a deal somewhere, somehow. After all, this book was lauded by the New Yorker. What the hell? In addition, New Yorker and Essence used her as a contributing author, and if she's grassroots, what is she doing there? Is she taking money and giving it back to the community? The fish smells like a rat. How do you make a sitting resident mention your name, and this is Bill Clinton for that matter, in reference to being a racist, and then turn around and work for the Boule unless she was either a double agent or sold out a long time ago, like Al Sharpton did? As I never seen the sister on the carpet, and as we understand that people got to eat, we hope that one day someone poses those questions to her. What's up with that? So, I talk about everybody. That's in case y'all didn't hear out there. I'm talking about Sister Souljah. And for some of the younger people who probably don't know who she is other than her books, she was at one time made a rap album. She was part of the Public Enemy clan, and, she was doing what would be considered as controversial back then. And now she's, establishment. So, I question a lot of those things because some of the people who've come out and were radical are now part of the establishment. Some like Angela Davis, who's now professor, and then vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Some people that came out gangster, now they come into who they are, and they speaking out, and then they suffer. And somebody I didn't cover in my book, but because this is recent, is someone like Fat Joe, who's from the Bronx, my hometown, birthplace of hip hop. Fat Joe was talking about about a year or two ago. I saw him, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. I saw him on a video on I forget the name of the playerhater.com. And in the video, he was talking about how the music industry is run by homosexuals. And the next time I saw anything about him, he was going to jail because he hadn't paid the IRS some back tax money, and he had to do prison time right after the time Lauryn Hill got sentenced. So this was about 2 years ago, in earnest. And so I apologize. Go ahead, brother. What did you say?
Well, they say that the homosexuals are running the music industry now anyway, and there's a lot of black brothers that are on the down low, or not even on the down low. I mean, they're openly talking about, homosexuality. I seen a video about 4 years ago that was running around on YouTube. It was a Philly rapper right here in town named Benny Siegel. And Benny Siegel, I don't know if he was high over wet or whatever the hell it was trying to put his tongue in the guy who was rapping's ear. And it may still be on YouTube. And I'm like, not Benny Siegel, he making prison clothes for Negroes to wear outside and shit. I mean, he endorsing that stuff. It was called state property, I believe. I believe Benny Siegel was involved in the state property. Right. I didn't even know that the pants said state property. I brought a pair of them pants. I couldn't even wear them pants after I seen it said state property, because I ain't no property to nobody but the almighty creator of the heavens, the earth, and the universe, and everything that it contains. But this is what I'm saying about social engineering. See, they're using the rappers, and they're using, different people to draw out the militants, just like in the 60s when the Panthers was around. Some people said that some of them groups, and they're saying that, like in California, Panthers said it was a group of guys that came to them, and they were some weird type guys, but they were militant, they were black, and that they were like undercover agents. They were never, they wasn't really soul brothers from the hood and everything, and these are the guys who, wanted to get started. They act like they were this and that, and, it was a lot of agents put in place to wrap up black people. Because you see all these people now, like the brother that's supposed to have been killed along with Fred Hampton's daddy. Fred Hampton Sr. Yeah, Fred Hampton Sr. Fred Hampton Jr. daddy. Fred Hampton Sr. The brother Bobby Rush, he wasn't there. Now he's a big politician. You got Angela Davis. She really wasn't down into the movement. She was just placed in there. I mean, it was like she came from Germany and was strategically placed in. She really wasn't part. They started part, and all of a sudden she got involved with the Soul Dad brothers. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they started messing with these intellectual college children that they were bringing in. And these people were the early Boule. They were Boule members that were brought into the movement. And what they did was they helped. They gave information, they stole, they spied, they wrapped up situations, where people got killed, Bunchy Carter and people shot down on this college campus, and the guys walk out of jail. I mean, they set up these things. See, this is what people don't understand. They set this up, and they get you in this mood of dancing and singing, and that's all you could think of, and you're not putting out nothing constructive, dancing and singing, and they taking your money. Jay-Z and all the rest of these rappers might be rich in our eyes, but there's people that's making way more than them off of this stuff here. And there's more than money. There's more than money what they're making. They're keeping, they're surviving. They're using these things to keep people under control so they won't stand up and fight for anything. Because black people basically don't stand up for nothing. I mean, we the only people in America. Anything can happen. You'll see a couple of Negroes may stand up for a day or two, and that's it, like Trayvon and every other murder that happened. I mean, people saying Biggie and it was knocked off, wasn't nobody riding. You know what I'm saying? We just looking for heroes all in the wrong places. We should be looking at heroes who want to establish and build us up as a people instead of people that just come in our hood, have you shaking and dancing and sweating and carrying on and everything and taking your money and just leaving and ain't putting nothing back into the community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, to be honest, Brother Akbar, and thank you for all of those accurate words, by the way, but to be honest, if you understand, and this is where a lot of us make this mistake, if you understand that those people are actually controlled, they can't help you. So a lot of those people, honestly, and I'm glad you brought this point up because this is something that I have to constantly repeat to black people. They can't help us because they sign these contracts in blood and they cannot help their people. Okay? So when we talk about guys who came out when they were in their late teens, early 20s, and they was talking all that gangster stuff, you know what I'm saying? And now most of these guys are now in their late 30s, early 40s, even some of them approaching 50. They can't help you, and they can't tell you why they can't help you. They sign contracts in blood, and they're beholden to that for the rest of their lives. So when we see somebody like Kanye, who came out, who wasn't talking about gangs and guns and, getting high and killing people and all of that, and now he's this Illuminati puppet, instead of getting mad at him and people like him, Nas is another one, you know what I'm saying, that we're talking neutral stuff or talking about our issues, we get mad because we looking at them and we don't know what they're going through. We just see they, with the bling and the car and, and the fat asses and stuff like that, but we don't know that they have to go through the rituals and they have to do what they have to do to stay alive. And if you want to find an example of that, we see that Kanye's mom got killed as a result of him saying that, Bush don't care about black people during that Katrina fund drive. You feel me? And ever since then, his life has changed. So people, don't talk about the guys who was gangster and now is trying to be, upstanding citizens. He went from being an upstanding citizen to basically an asshole now. You know what I'm saying? And after his mom died, because when he went on the Good Morning show and apologized to Bush for calling saying that about him, he looked like he had the fear of death in him. Like, if you don't do this, you next. And I believe they forcing him to be with Kim Kardashian.
Probably so.
So I go on the carpet, and defend him because I don't think he wanted to be doing that because he was with a black girl before that, and he was always making songs about his family and love and stuff like that, or talking about real issues, in a real way, in a way that anybody could relate to. And now he's an Illuminati puppet, so he got to follow orders and do what they tell him to do. And they making a fool out of him. You feel me? So people like that, I want to defend Nas, you know what I'm saying? Because not everybody want to be in it. Everybody that's in it, you don't pick them, they pick you. You don't have no choice. The choice is death. Because somebody that did what he's done already, speaking out on our behalf, he can't go back. Nas can't go back. They can't.
Now I have a question.
about the those Kardashians. Don't get me wrong; they are some funny women. But do you believe that Khloe had a part to take in Lamar Odom going back from his father was a drug user, drug and alcohol abuser. Now he was a professional basketball player. Once he hooked up with that Kardashian girl, everything went back, and he went back on drugs. Well, he wasn't back on drugs; he just flat out went on drugs. Is she part of the problem? I believe truly she did have a part to play in it, but it's being concealed, and it's a shame that that young man's life is truly destroyed, and he had kids too. So I want to know a question from you about that: is does she play a role in his demise of his career?
Okay, I have a blog. Thank you for that question, sister. Great question. I have a blog. The name of it is www.black2, the number 2, Africa, AFRIKA.blogspot.com. And about maybe a year and a half ago, I addressed the Kardashian family as a whole. Now, you know they're Armenian, correct?
They're Armenian, yes. And is that part, is that near Russia or is it near the Ukraine?
It's somewhere over that way. It's in the middle. It's like one of those areas.
Part of the old Soviet Union. It's over there near Russia and everything. It's very cold over there in Ukraine.
Exactly. So when I had wrote about when I think she was starting to deal with Kanye, or when she got pregnant. I don't remember the exact time. I need to look that up, but I don't have a computer right in front of me right now. But the point I'm making is if you were a watcher of the Star Trek series, not the first one that came out with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, but the more recent one, I believe the one LeVar Burton was in. There was a group of there was a group on the plane on the spaceship that were called Kardashians. They didn't spell it the same way that the family did, but if you look that family name on the internet, you can look it up on Wikipedia. I'm not talking about some obscure site that's going to take you 50 days to find. The Kardashians were people from another planet who were sex slaves, and I believe that that's what they are today, because there's no coincidences out here. They're sex slaves, and I believe that the powers that be are using that family to attack our best black men and use them as sex slaves and stuff like that. Because when Lamar Odom was with that girl in Brooklyn a few years ago, they had a car accident. Some kid got killed. And at that time, I think he was still with the Lakers, and he got traded to the Dallas Mavericks. And he was always winning the Sixth Man Award. And when he got to the Mavericks, they cut him during the season, right before they went to the playoffs. And then, he was never the same no more. Now I just saw this a few days ago. He's playing for a team in Spain now. He should be coasting at the end of his career because, he's probably in his mid to late 30s now. And he's playing in Spain. So, definitely he did a trick game on him. And when I see Kanye in pictures with Kim now, I saw a picture a few days ago. She was dressed in all black, looking in the camera like, yeah, I got this guy and all that. He had on something pink, looking like, passive, like he was behind her.
Yeah,
like I got to do this. He's crying out. And all his pictures just about he's crying out like, y'all help me. I got to do this. I got to stay alive. So, as far as those who don't want to be down with this, but they have to because they're so talented, and by the time they got to that level, they didn't know what it was, and now they do. We have to help them and hopefully keep them alive because they have a story to tell when this switch is over, which is going to be any day now.
Well, Reggie Bush, his career seemed to went down too after Kim Kardashian. What do you think about that?
Well, with like I said, they're sex slaves, and of course, so another word to say for sex slaves would be handlers. And what a handler does is basically watch you and make sure that you're doing the job that, those powers that we're speaking of assign to those who probably don't want to do what they're doing. And I believe with Bush, or let me just say entertainers, and athletes because I do cover a few athletes, and the easiest two to cover was LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, who are in this as well. I think Kobe Bryant's ritual was when that girl said he raped her, and he had to give up money and all that other stuff. LeBron is a little different because he's younger, and I think he don't want to be in it either. But he know he got to do it, and he just doing what he got to do to get along. But with Reggie Bush and Allen Iverson and guys that I don't believe are in it because they got that attitude, I believe that when you lose a step as an athlete, and Allen Iverson is the best example because it was the most recent. You know what I'm saying? They just dump you from the league unceremoniously, and then they take the rest of your money through the IRS. Right. So there's three ways that they ruin you. There's three ways that they ruin you. They either ruin you through the law. It was a character assassination. So what Cat Williams was going through 2-3 years ago, when he was getting arrested every other day, through the IRS, like so many athletes and so many entertainers, they don't pay taxes, and now you getting your stuff taken, your house and all this and that. Sylvester Sly and the Family Stone, the guy from Sly and the Family Stone. 2 years ago, it was a news report that he was living in his car. This guy probably had to be.
He was living in his car for a long time. He was on crack. But I want to talk about Cat Williams. Now, Cat Williams, I heard that he said that, and I heard this is when he started having trouble, that he went to a party, right? And he went to the party, and he said he seen niggas in there that he never thought was gay, sucking dicks and everything, all on their knees, sucking dicks and everything. And when he said that you stop seeing him. You stop seeing where he at. And like Dave Chappelle, he said when he started talking about black men in the dresses and why they got to wear dresses and all this stuff, all of a sudden, like you said, he had to leave here and go to Africa. He probably was scared for his life.
Yeah.
Because when he said he went to Africa, you know what I'm saying, he really didn't explain the Africa thing good to me why he went to Africa, which we all should be trying to go back to Africa. As far as I'm concerned, we should be trying to get our own country, But I'm saying that a lot of these people, when they do certain things, even Janet Jackson kind of like fell off. Like, Janet fell off, don't hear nothing about her. And they killed Mike. I know they killed him. I'm to the point that they made
Mike. I go with on him too, and with Houston.
They made too much money. After Mike died.
They don't got nothing to do with that. They don't have nothing to do with money. At this point, it's not even about money, Brother Akbar, my queen sister. It's not even about money. It's about control now. Because the people I always make this distinction between there's two types of people. There are people who make money, and they make plenty of money, and there are people who make the money. And the people who make the money don't need the money because whatever they have, they own it outright. And that's us, and that's the world. I'm sure that you heard about that article that said that there are 85 people in the world who are worth what 4 billion people are worth.
Yeah, well,
this article was going around the internet in January.
You're talking about the Rothschilds and all them and the Illuminati now, huh?
Yeah, 85 people. So a room full of people that wouldn't even fill up a decent-sized club are worth more than everybody you know and everybody in like maybe 50 countries. There's over 100 million people in.
I always tell black people money is not power. They have rappers out there talk about money and the power. Money is not power. Land and resources is power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you taking and you using this land and resources to feed your people, and even you have surplus, you can sell to other people, and you start creating things and using your dormant mind to make things that people want and people need and stuff like that. This is what power is, and the black people can never achieve real power living under the spear of white supremacy or any other supremacy other than our own. So this again is, like I said, social engineering. All this stuff they doing is social engineering because, like you said, they don't need money because black people think everything happens because of money. How you need money when you can order how much you want it printed up and you get it. Plus, money don't have their money doesn't have anything is backing it anyway. The real thing that's worth anything that they have here is you, black man, and the other immigrants and everybody in here that they control to do their will around the world and work for them and build for them and do whatever, fight for them in wars and do things like tricking people. Because, see, this thing about entertainment goes all the way back to the Roman Empire. You know, because like when the kings and the Roman Caesar and everything was going bad inside Rome, what they would do was they would start the games. People fighting lions and animals, wild animals, and men chopping each other up, and the people were so into the games that they didn't look at what the politicians and the power structure and everything was doing to them. They was too busy in the game, and you got black people out here that will fight and kill you over a game, a football game, and white folks and other people, sports freaks and stuff. But when it comes time to standing up for something that's real, when they taking your rights away, when they locking your men up, when they killing and controlling your women, and when they doing all these things to you, you're not willing to fight and die for that, but you ready to die and fight over a Lakers game or NFL football game or something because you and the boys got a little high with you, and y'all talking about who team is the best team. So we are on some strange mental shit. It's like our people are walking around as empty vessels, just waiting to be programmed like a computer to do the will of the oppressors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right. There's nothing I can add to that. It's 100% accurate. Exactly what you said, Brother Akbar.
So
yeah, man, that's just what it is. So you know, I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I want to ask you about Suge Knight. Because Suge Knight used to be one of their big enforcers out in L.A. and everything, because they be taking rap from regions, because they make the South, the dirty South, the baddest rappers for a minute. Then they'll back off of them like all the entertainers died or something, stop making music, and they'll go out west. And they'll make rap in the west out there, and then they'll put them down for a while. Then they'll come out here to the east and, and put the east out here. And, it's just like, you can even see just how they control it. If you just look how they control it, they want each people, like now gangster rap back in the day. Gangster rap used to be when I was coming. Before I was coming up, when rap first started, it was just party and it was knowledge. People was kicking out knowledge and stuff. But then rap turned gangster. You know what I'm saying? And it moved to L.A. But, NWA and people like that and everything. And it was going back and forth to a little, because New York always had the positive type rappers. You know what I'm saying? The positive.
Not really. Not really. Let me drop it on that a little bit and tell you how they did the trick game on that. Okay. When NWA first started, actually, let me go back a little before that. Ice-T was the one that really bridged the hip-hop gap between the East Coast and West Coast, because like you, Brother Akbar, Ice-T, who's better known as Tracy Morrow, is his legal name, is from Newark, New Jersey. So he moved out to L.A. when he was about 13, when the hip-hop scene had just started. So he already was, brought that out there. And, of course, when people start a movement or a scene, people emulate that and so on and so forth. So when NWA started, and I'm using NWA because they're the group they are the group responsible for starting gangster rap. But Eazy-E was a crack dealer in the early days, and he was a partner or probably one of Freeway Ricky's biggest customers. And he was able to finance NWA in the beginning days of all of this, because he was dealing crack before it really became an epidemic all over the country. That crack epidemic started in earnest in L.A., and there was a European guy named Gary Webb who wrote a book called Dark Alliance. And he was working on this on the second one. He was going to put a part 2 out, and right before he was going to put it out, he got suicided, meaning that they made it seem like a suicide, but, you know, it wasn't a suicide because supposedly he shot himself in the head twice. Now, who shoots themselves in the head? Yeah. So the name of that book is Dark Alliance, and it explains, it leaves you with beyond a shadow of a doubt as to how the crack epidemic started in the mid-'80s, when Oliver North and his minions, when Bush was president, was taking guns over to El Salvador and exchanging. Yeah, exactly. So we already know that.
Yeah, the Sandinistas and
the country.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's when they was using my boy in Panama, Noriega, and then at the end of it, Noriega got out of the way, and they went and got him and said he was dealing the drugs, and they were dealing the drugs all the time. But you know, they punished Noriega. They punished Noriega.
Because Noriega snubbed Bush because he said if you go down when it all came out. If you go down, if I go down, you going down. So Bush went in there and killed over 10,000 people and didn't even kill Noriega to show him, like, all right, you want to see how we really do it? Let me show you what a real gangster do. We ain't going to talk. We're going to destroy your people. Got no army to deal with the United States Army. They went down there and killed civilians. They weren't killing soldiers in barracks and all that. They were killing civilians. Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is where the trick bag is. Let me go back a little bit now. Okay, what happened with gangster rap was Eazy-E was rhyming about the devil and being the devil's son. He had 666 tattoos in his head and everything, and he became a sacrifice because either he was talking about stuff he wasn't supposed to be putting out, or because they didn't need him no more because they knew he would prove to be a liability. If you remember, he got invited to the White House to a Republican National Convention or one of them kind of receptions and so on and so forth, and they said that they mailed it to the wrong Eric Wright that was supposed to go to an assistant DA from L.A. County. Now, you know, if you know anything about, you know, the White House and how they work, they ain't going to make that kind of mistake. You know, there's a big difference between somebody who lives in Bel Air or one of the more Malibu that lives in Compton. Now, I don't know where Eazy-E was living at the time, but I'm sure he wasn't living in any of those neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? You lose your credibility if you move from the equivalent of Newark, you know, Weequahic section or the South Bronx, and then all of a sudden now you're living in, you know, some exclusive suburb. So, you know, they don't make those kind of mistakes. But what they did was they ushered in NWA on the backside of Public Enemy because Public Enemy was the height of conscious hip-hop. And then they brought that in, and what they did was they allowed them to make that song, Fuck the Police, and that made NWA heroes. And it's a psychological game because they do a Hegelian dialectic thing. They made them look bad, and making them look bad, they created them, giving them negative press. But you know the old saying, any news is better than no news.
Any press is good press.
Exactly.
Even if it's negative, it's still going to sell you to somebody. So they got people that love negative people. But, hey, look, like I said, I am not an expert on hip-hop, but I'm an expert on the white man. And I know that he is a demon, and he will do whatever he can. And it's black people working along with him, too. Sellouts and boule and people who gatekeepers and stuff that just want to sustain their life and live good at the cost of everybody else. They don't care about what's happening. You know, yeah, I remember one day the police, and I just, you know, I mean, I'm not thinking two black police, and I was like, how you doing, my brother? He looked me right in my face, a young police, and said, I'm not your goddamn brother. And I just didn't even say nothing else to him, man, because that type of nigga is crazy.
But I had something to say about it. I just believe that, you know, a lot of hip-hop has changed, but in a sense, it is coming across as if white people really took on to hip-hop, and everything that we do, they want to do. So it's kind of an oxymoron that if we're doing the wrong thing and we're so negative and everything we putting out negative, well, why do they want to do it? I mean, they're copying off of our style, our swag. There was a brother in New York. He made he was like a clothing designer, and he sold clothes. I forgot his name, but he was in Harlem, New York, and he said that when Louis and Vuitton and Gucci they didn't sell jackets at the moment. They just were selling like accessories, and they didn't let black people wear their clothes or come into the store and buy their clothes. He would go and buy the material or the bags themselves and rip it apart and put it on the jackets and put it on the suit. So now that, the everyday man or woman can come into his store, and I mean, his store was open 24/7, 9 years. And I think Dapper Dan, that was his name, Dapper Dan.
Yeah.
And they were buying all his clothes. So when that happened, it started, oh, wow, these people are coming and they're wearing Louis Vuitton jackets and this and that and the third. And he made it from hand. I mean, talented and crafted. That's when the white designer said, okay, now we're going to stop this and we're going to do this what he did. So if we're so negative and wrong, why are they copying off of us and doing what we do? That's my only thing.
Okay, well, as far as that's concerned, sis, that's a very layered commentary. But let me show you the trick bag, okay? When hip hop first started, first of all, let me go back a little bit. Let me even go a little beyond that. We have to understand something, that everybody who's an MC or a rapper raps, okay? You can rhyme about hip hop, because hip hop is not just the music. Hip hop is the DJ. Hip hop is the rapper. Everybody who expresses themselves in words over beats is an MC. Is a rapper. What the difference between an MC and a rapper is, an MC rhymes about hip hop. A rapper rhymes for commercial success or money. Okay, so you got graffiti, you got the DJ, you got the music, of course. The rapper or the MC, and then you have the dancing, the break dancing, popping and locking, and so on and so forth. The fifth element that's been included in hip-hop, the knowledge, and this is what we're doing right now to dispel myths and explain why some of the things are going on. In answer to your second part of what you said as far as why white people taking rap or hip-hop or whatever the case may be, because you have to understand time moves on. And the cracker, the devil, he has a think tank. He probably has 200 think tanks right now devising schemes and plans to cheat black people out of everything that they're supposed to get. And gold, all the resources in Africa that we're supposed to benefit from, and all the other things that we do, including our talents and our skills and so on and so forth. Slavery, us as a whole, because working today is still slavery. So what they do is, you have to understand, in the early 70s until maybe the 90s, when it got accepted by mainstream audiences, they ridicule it, then they kind of grudgingly, see what it's about, exploit it, take it over, and now we hear where we got Ryan Lewis and Macklemore getting Grammys and all this and that, and then we become reactionary when we give it to them, because if me and you, if us three on this phone call right now, we're all rappers, and we go to some man who's a record executive, give him the tape or give him our recording as a master, he now owns it. So we give it to them. So the key today is to stop giving it to them and good and perform for your friends and sell it to them, and then find ways to market yourself so that you can use that as the vehicle to make money in other ways. This is the key today. We can't keep giving it to them, because now they got a thing called 360 deals. And what 360 deals means is, for the rest of the life of your contract, for the rest of your life, anything you do, whether they're involved in it or not, they get a piece of it, because nobody's buying music no more. Everybody's downloading from YouTube and the Internet. So if people ain't buying music, you got to find ways, and the labels ain't going out of business because people ain't buying music. They just diversified how they make money off of the artists, and it's still based on exploitation. I had spoke about Chris Lighty a little while ago, And I don't know if you're aware of who he is, but I said before that he was managing Puffy when Puffy was head of Bad Boy, when Biggie and Craig Mack and, Faith Evans and all of them was on that label. And before he passed, he had said on his Twitter account that, and this guy was rich, you know what I'm saying? He had said on his Twitter account that I still see that the music industry is nothing but slavery.
Uh-huh.
So, I'm not telling you just on a rapper basis. Say again?
Michael Jackson was saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But
exactly.
Tommy Mottola and them was going to kill him. I mean, he already knew that they was going to take him out. He told everybody they was going to take him out. He started making, when Michael Jackson started making songs like They Don't Really Care About Us and all that song, is he black or white?
Leave Me Alone.
Yeah, Leave Me Alone, and all that kind of stuff, man. He was calling out to people, man. Michael was scared up in the house on drugs. He probably had to take drugs to sleep because he was scared for his life. Now, anytime this man has intravenous bag hooked up, I mean, this is the worst case of drug addiction ever in Hollywood or entertainment, period, because I've never heard of nobody with a whole bag of drugs hooked up to their arm, going in and they going in and out of suspended animation. This stuff is real deep, and the thing about them following us and stuff and everything, white folks always been stealing our stuff. You know what I mean? Every black actor all the way back to when black people was able to start performing, even during the Civil War, abolitionists went south to record black spiritual songs on the damn plantations before black people was all the way out of slavery. That's how more important. These people already knew that we was musically talented. They had knew about Africa and all the things we did. But black people to dance and entertain, we did dances to everything. Everything that we did had a dance to it. We did. We used to express ourselves and tell stories with dance. Just like you see on Broadway and people dancing around the Lion King and all that. That's based on African dance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we are the greatest dancers on earth. No one can dance.
We are the gods of the earth.
Yes, no one has rhythm. No one has rhythm. We are synchronized with the universe. And these people are controlling this now. This thing that we see entertainment controls a lot of people. All our children are controlled, half our adults are controlled. I mean, almost every black woman you see is controlled off of stuff about entertainment. You can see how powerful it is. You see the new weaves on TV or the new actors or the new singers wearing this and that. They want it. Somebody drinking a certain type of drink. Now they want to drink Patron. Now they want to drink Grey Goose. Now they want to drink this because the rapper's drinking it. This stuff is more powerful than what you know, and it's controlling us, controlling the community. We should be questioning and thinking about it and analyzing it and breaking it down.
Right. So you're right, Brother Akbar.
I commend your work, and I commend your study and everything you did to try to break this information down and give it to our people to show us how powerful that this entity is that's controlling us and our children out here. If your children, the only thing they care about, you got a child walking down the street, he can know every last word from Lil Wayne, but he can't do his timetables. He can't do his timetables or his multiplication or subtraction or something. This is sick. But I've seen them little kids going down. They be rapping. I mean, they look like they could be on stage. They be getting down. And he can't even spell his own damn name and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, this thing is crazy. Our people are too fixed on illusion. And this illusion has us in an insane way that we need to start addressing and looking at so we can wake up as a people before we destroy ourselves in this, in this matrix. But this matrix, brother, is very, 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 very tricky. And you can think that you're out and try to get out deeper, and it swallows you and pulls you back in. We are dealing with a program that is used against us. The same thing and same country we working for has their foot on us. It's not about white people following us. It's not about white people doing what we do. White people always follow and do what we do because we're the oldest people on earth. But they're making the money off of us now. So now they're pimping us. Who wants to continue to be pimped by other people when you can get all the riches from your talents and everything you do yourself? So I don't use white people as no measuring stick. Oh, they do it so we can do it. This is the problem of now with Negroes. They doing everything that white people do negative or taught us negative or even build on the shit. You know what I'm saying? They even sometimes are doing more negative shit than the white people now. But the thing is that we have to stop and wake our people up to stop us from hurting each other and using each other, abusing each other, and selling out. Because anybody who sells out and know that they done got trapped and they selling out to their people, they should risk their lives to tell the people what's going on. Just like some of the rappers that did and lost their life, like Tupac was calling out. Tupac said that Dr. Dre don't know if he want pussy or to suck a dick.
Yeah. He also said
Quincy Jones went over there to visit Quincy Jones' daughter, and Quincy Jones rolled up on him, wanted him to run up in him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a freak. You know, and I believe they did that brain surgery on him and made him a deal because he's a gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? With his old ass, want to sleep with young boys and stuff. You know, I mean, it's a lot of black, freaky, black, crazy ass will do anything. People out here that you got to be on the lookout for. You know, before you even think about addressing the beast or the oppressor. You have to think about some of these crazy Negroes that will do anything, will rape children, will rape men, will sell you out for a couple of dollars and cents. I mean, I'm talking about the Judas Factor all the way. I mean, I ain't talking about Malcolm, I'm talking about a Judas race of people that keep on Judas from each other.
But Brother Akbar, like I said a little while ago, and I want you to always mind, and I want those out there listening to do the same. Now, of course, we know all these things that you just described are wrong. We know this. And not everybody is doing the same thing, and there are those who have got in and after some time had to get inside of this in order to save their lives. They have a story to tell. We need to discern when the time comes, which is soon. We need to discern from those who willingly went in, like Jay-Z, like the guys that you see at the pinnacle of the game, like Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Birdman, and Suge Knight, and those guys who became rich beyond belief, and have men, even Will Smith, because I don't want it to seem like everybody that's doing this is a gangster or something like that. Some of these guys, they accepted what they're doing and climb to the heights. They're damn near billionaires, some of these guys. And then you got guys, like I mentioned before, Kanye, Nas, Allen Iverson. I want people to, not focus just on hip-hop. You feel me? Because anybody in the hip-hop era, that's not necessarily rapping or making beats or whatever the case may be, but grew up in the hip-hop era and has a hip-hop style, is represented in this as well, because more than likely they grew up hip-hop and they live in the hood and so on and so forth. So I don't want people to start thinking that everybody's in this willingly and wants to do it and is, being homosexuals and doing stuff like that. What the difference is that those guys who are willingly doing it and are the head of it, like Jay-Z is in hip-hop, or willingly, like Al Sharpton and people like that, who are gatekeepers, like you said, that's the perfect word, Quincy Jones, who are willingly doing this and are turning out younger people under them in order to keep them under their sway and under control, like I said, the handlers. Those are the people that need to be dealt with. Those who are unwitting victims or people that need to stay alive and, to see another day and so on and so forth, we need to hear their stories and judge them and then determine what we're going to do with them and where they can be best used. Because, we know people get coerced into things or, like, forced into things. Hey, if you don't do this, we ain't even going to kill you. We're going to kill your family. And that's why Jennifer Hudson rose to the heights that she's at now. Now, I don't know if she did that willingly or not, but we all know that wasn't some ex-boyfriend killing the family because I can't be with this woman no more. That shit didn't even. I didn't even think for a second that was the case. And if you notice, the whole time when that boy was going through that trial, I don't remember his name now, he never spoke. Yeah. The same thing that happened with James Holmes, the guy that did the Aurora shooting in Colorado 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. The very next day, his father had created a system that was going to expose all the money that got sucked out of poor people's bank accounts and bills that, should have been $22 or $25. $3 don't sound like a lot of money. But imagine 3 million people being charged $3 extra and they're not looking at an electric bill or water bill. Oh. Times millions. $3 times millions. And these are the ways that these, the top echelon people are stealing our money. You got some tax in there, something that don't even exist in your neighborhood. Rocky Mountain spotted fever prevention or something. You ain't reading your bill. You get a bill that's $25. I could pay $25. You pay it. But there's all kind of shit in there. And this man, hold on, let me just finish this. The guy Holmes that shot up the Aurora, that they say shot up the Aurora Theater, his father had invented an algorithm system in a computer that could tell where all the money that was being siphoned out of our accounts was going to. Oh. You can look this up. I put that on my blog and so on and so forth. You know how many scientists were killed, the biochemists and stuff like that, people that were making, they were like, okay, make this. We need this to do this experiment. And then when they make it, and then they find out that, oh, you making this to kill people? Nah, I'm not doing this for that. And then they kill you. Right now, there's a whole bunch of bankers being killed. There was a Bitcoin controversy last week, and the chick that was the head of it got suicided again. So this is happening in all kind of ways, in all kind of fashions. It's not just hip-hop, entertainers. It's a whole bunch of people, and white people suffer this stuff too, but they don't go through it as much. The guy that played the Joker in the Batman movie that died in New York a few years ago, he was a victim of this, David Carradine.
How about Brandon Walker? His dad, Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The Crow. The guy that played the Crow.
Bruce Lee died mysteriously too, his father.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. But
so
I don't know.
And then James Dean, they was doing this a long time to Hollywood stars. Something about...
Well, why did you hear that guy killed himself, the guy that played the Joker? He was really good, too. They said it was suicide.
Yeah, nah, it wasn't suicide. Kurt Cobain didn't kill himself. Hardly any of these people killed themselves. Because the evidence always shows something different.
And they said that, what's her name? She didn't kill herself. What's the white woman that was with Kennedy? Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe, right. Yeah, no. She definitely. She was a spy.
Yeah, and they also said that, what's the name of that black lady that, what's her name played her? I think Halle Berry played her in the movie. What's her name?
Dorothy Dandridge?
Yeah, Dorothy Dandridge, yeah. But she was running with the white guys in Hollywood.
You have to. You have to. Yo, let me tell you something. In these rituals, let me get into the rituals a little bit. In these rituals, some of these people, I read stories. I didn't put this in the book because I couldn't substantiate it, but I've read stories. There's a lady, I forget her last name right now, but her first name is Bryce. And she was at a ritual when the Jacksons went on the Ed Sullivan show, and she said that before they got on the stage, perform at the Ed Sullivan show, this is in the late 60s, probably right before Ed Sullivan passed, but she said that the Jacksons had to go into a room, and when they each got into a room, there was a white man, big white men, and these boys had to take their shit off, and they all got fucked in the ass. This is how intense this shit is. This ain't I'm not telling you. You can find this information online. I'm not telling you nothing you can't find.
That sounds like that Greek fraternal order shit they doing now.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. It definitely is, man.
This stuff is really deep Greek stuff, man, because the Greeks is the freaks. And the brother who passed away, let me call his name. He did a lot of work on this about the boule and everything. I know I can't call the brother's name. I know I should be smacked in my mouth because the brother used to write. He wrote about Martin Luther King, how he was killed and set up by Jesse.
About Steve Copley?
Yeah, Steve Copley. There you go. Steve Coakley. All right. May he rest in peace. He's an ancestor now. Say I say to him, may he rest in peace. Steve Coakley used to come out. He was telling us a lot of these things because a lot of these people, see, this ain't just in entertainment. Excuse me. This is in politics and all facets of life. They got these gatekeepers. And they use them to keep us here because if they didn't want us here, they could have gave us some ships or used their ships or planes or whatever and move us all back to the motherland. But we going to do a part 2 because we're getting ready to go off the air. We got about 60 seconds left. We're going to do a part 2. We're going to come back on this, and I say good night to all. Good night to everyone. And good night to our listeners, and we hope to talk to you again on Wake Up African Radio. Good night.
Wake up, Africa.